Yes, yes. What is going on, everybody? It is Tuesday. So, you know what that means. It is time for Touchdown Detroit Lions over here on Syndicate Sports Detroit. I'm your host, Nick Harksen. Unfortunately, we are not going to be celebrating a Victory Tuesday this week because the Lions fell short to the Buffalo Bills 48-42. But we're all right. We're going to be okay, and we're going to get into it, and we're going to talk about why. But what's up, Lori King? What's up, John Peterson? Kim Fodderberg, good to see you all in here. That's right. They know the drill. Say what's up once you're in here, and we can get this thing rolling. Mary Peterson, good to see you as well. But, yeah, the Lions had a tough loss this week. The score ended up being a lot closer, I think, than the game actually showed. But we fought, and like I said, we came up short, 48-42. But Jared Goff had a huge game, 38 for 59, 494 yards, and 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, which is crazy to think about that we came away with a loss with those kind of numbers from Jared Goff, and that we came away with a win earlier in the year against the Texans when he threw 5 interceptions. I think Adam Schefter, somebody put up a stat like that, where it's like, Lions have won a game this year where Goff threw 5 interceptions, and we lost a game this year where he threw almost 500 yards and he threw for 5 touchdowns. But still a good day for Goff. He was up for FedEx Air Player of the Year or the Week. So vote if that's still available. Another person who's up for FedEx Player of the Week would be that of Amon-Ra St. Brown. He had 14 receptions, 193 yards, and a touchdown. But, you know, I think if you ask St. Brown, he probably wouldn't be completely happy with his performance, even though he had a massive game when you look at it on the stats. But, you know, there was a few key moments to where this game could have gone in different directions. And I'm gonna get into that, but let's just go down a little bit more on the list. You know, Gibbs only with 8 carries, 31 yards. Monty only had 5 carries, 4 yards. Of course, Montgomery is out for the season, unfortunately, with an MCL injury. And Lori King just brought it to my attention that St. Brown had food poisoning. I did not hear them announce that during the game. Maybe it was something that I missed, or maybe I just didn't see that news. I don't know how I missed that, but thank you for bringing that to my attention, because that makes it even more of an impressive, very impressive performance from Amon-Ra St. Brown, despite the few things that happened in the game that I'm going to get out. But, yeah, Lori King said it just came out today. So that's crazy that he went out there, played with food poisoning, because if you've had food poisoning before, you know it ain't no joke. And, you know, he was probably on the sideline getting sick and whatnot, too, because food poisoning is terrible. I don't wish that upon anybody. Food poisoning sucks. So, Amon-Ra, shout out to you for doing that, going out there. Took a huge hit during the game. And let's get into it. You know, he had a big drop right after that huge hit. And I think if he catches that, we go down, potentially score a touchdown. But regardless, we're closer. I don't think Jake Bates misses the field goal after that play. Obviously, if he catches it, he's not kicking the next play. And then he's much closer if we have to kick it again anyways. But I thought that was a huge part of the game. If Amon-Ra catches that, you know, the drive extends. We don't need to rely on Jake Bates hitting a big field goal that he just completely shanked. I mean, that was his worst kick of the year. But, you know, Amon-Ra, he's normally sure-handed. It was very uncharacteristic of him. And now that I know that he had food poisoning, I'll give him a little bit of a pass for sure. But then his other moment of the game where I know that he's kind of feeling a little bit down about himself is the fumble. So, you know, you take those 2 away, or you get the catch and you take the fumble away, you know, the game could be different there, but you can't blame it all on Amon-Ra St. Brown. I just know I was saying that I think that, you know, he's very tough on himself. And even though he had the 14 reception, 193-yard game, he's probably still like, oh, man, you know, I could have done a little bit better. I think it'll feel the fire, but that is not even close to why we lost this game. I mean, they are key factors to where the game could have taken a different turn if we do convert there, if we don't fumble. But let's talk about the other one. Dan Campbell onside kicking with 12 minutes to go. and we're only down 10. There's a lot of people who are like, you know what, I'm okay with it because we're being aggressive and we're trying to turn the game, and that's just his style. But really, is it really his style? I mean, have we seen an onside kick from Dan Campbell a lot? That's not by surprise. Like this, now we have to announce when we're going out there and we're doing an onside kick. They have to announce it to the other team. They're like, hey, we're doing an onside kick, and you have to be down by 2 scores as well. Has to be certain circumstances. So they went out there. They let them know they were going to do that. I would completely agree with the call if we could catch them off guard, if it was the old rules, if you could go out there and try to sneak one up on them. But for the fact that we had to tell them we were doing an onside kick, we had a ton of time left. I believe the defense just came away with a stop or two. The defense was very depleted. They, and we'll get into the injuries and all that. But I still think with 10 minutes left, you give your team a chance to go out there and get another stop. You're only down 10. I do see the other side of the argument, though, as well. If you kick it off to them, maybe they drain more clock and they go down and they get a touchdown regardless. So, we onsided. They returned it almost for a touchdown right there. Either way, we're trying to be aggressive. We're trying to get back into it. But I think that was costly when you look at it in hindsight. Now that we're looking at it, when we're looking back on it, you're like, okay, maybe if he didn't do that, maybe we stop. But it's a lot of shoulda, coulda, woulda talk there. And Dan Campbell's going to be aggressive. I just don't think, people are like, that's how he coaches. I don't necessarily agree with that's how he coaches because he's not a big onside guy, only when we kind of need it. And he's kind of a surprising guy. We fake punt. We do all that stuff. I'm not saying it's not uncharacteristic of him to do that. But I just didn't completely agree with that moment. And looking back on it, since it didn't work out, I can kind of criticize. But at the same time, if it worked out, I'm like, oh, yeah, my coach. So no matter what, I do have my coach's back. But still, that was just another instance in the game where I thought it did take a turn for the worst and kind of took away a little bit of momentum from us. But still, we fought hard, 48-42, and we almost got that onside at the end. Who knows? Maybe we did. Kind of looking back on it on replay, I think that they did initially get it. We were right there. We almost got it, but it was a good attempt. And if we get that, who knows what happens? We could throw a Hail Mary up, get J-Mo on a certain route. I don't know. Would have been very interesting, but still, there's no way, to know what would have happened. And let me get over here. Victor Fontaine, what's up, Victor? How you doing? There were several reasons for the loss. One, starting the game down 14-0 with 3 yards of the offense. Yes, definitely. And that was actually, I was going to get into that as well. We cannot start the game like that. And you can't, if you're going to receive the ball, you have to go out there and you can't go 3 and out. You got to at least put up some kind of drive. Give yourself a chance. And, yeah, they didn't look good from the start. At least the offense didn't get rolling until after they were down 14. And against a team like the Bills, definitely cannot do that. Maybe you get away with against another team. Yeah, we started off bad against the Texans. Texans are a decent team. We were able to weather that storm. We're a very different team now than we were there when you look at the injuries in our defense. But you're completely right. We cannot put ourselves back that much when you're playing a team like the Bills, especially now moving forward. And let's get into it. We had some very key injuries this game, and very unfortunate because this has been happening to our team all year long, and it's not getting any better. It's not getting any better. Yes, we do have some promising news, but for the most part, we've lost more than we're going to gain back. The Lions placed cornerback Carlton Davis, cornerback Khalil Dorsey, and D lineman Ali McNeil on injured reserve. We did sign linebacker Anthony Pittman. We brought him back, which is good news. He's been with the system before. We need some help there. Not a top-tier linebacker by any means, but he knows the style of play that we do. He knows AG. He knows this system. He can help out. We just need bodies at this point. We just need as many bodies at this point. We also released D-end Isaiah Thomas from the practice squad, and we signed cornerback Stanley Thomas Oliver to the practice squad. So those are some moves that we made today. One very interesting note out of all of that is that they did announce that Montgomery was going to have season-ending surgery for an MCL injury, but he was not designated to IR. maybe the surgery, maybe they already had it. Maybe the surgery went much better than they expected. I doubt it. I mean, I expect Montgomery to be at least out 4 games. They did say he was going to get a second opinion. Would be great if he got that second opinion and they're like, you know what, hold up. Hold those horses. But I don't think so. They've been saying that it's a bad injury. He's got to have surgery and he's going to be out for the year. So I don't know. It's, he's not on the IR report, but expected to probably happen soon. I don't know if there's a reason why they're not doing it yet. But it's still a very unfortunate injury on both sides. Aleem McNeil, biggest blow on defense over there. Our defensive line was already just depleted. Every single week, it seems like we're losing somebody new, whether it's, just Reeder out for a few games or whatever, or we're losing Hutch for the season. Pascal's out for a few games on Wuzurike, all these guys. But now we have a huge blow to the line in Aleem McNeil being out for the year. We just got him on a huge contract. This is an ACL injury. There's no chance he comes back, and it's very unfortunate for a guy who is having a massive year and was very, he was helping us out big time in the middle. Without him and Reeder together, it's going to be tougher for the outside guys to really get loose. But I think Reeder is a force enough to hold it down. But, man, Aleem McNeil, losing him is massive. You hate to see it. Yeah, next man up, but that's another guy who we don't have another guy on the team that can play to his caliber and have that motor. So, hate to see it happen like that. Also, Khalil Dorsey, his injury was so gruesome. You hate to see that happen. I don't know the timetable on how long that'll take to get back. His foot was completely turned backwards. Don't go and watch that again if you have a weak stomach or if you cannot take injuries like that. It was terrible. It was nasty. And then, of course, CD, Carlton Davis. That man, he was having a good year at corner, and I think our best corner out there, if you want to talk about the guys on the islands. He's out for at least 6 weeks with a broken jaw, placed on IR. And now we're out there with Vildor and Terrion Arnold as our 2 outside corners. Maybe we put a Meek out there. But some good news that came out of this week is that they are starting Ifatu Melinfawu's 21-day window to return. It is possible that he could be back there this week. He is progressing well. And they also think that Ennis Rakestraw will be back soon as well. I don't know about this week, but he's progressing good in the right direction. He should be back sooner than later. So that'll definitely help out the secondary with Iffy there. Maybe they can put him, at the nickel, or he can go back and play, kind of a box safety. Let Branch go up to the nickel. Maybe Branch goes outside and plays corner. I don't know. They're going to have to get creative. I love Branch at safety because he's a ball hawk and he also just comes up and lays that hit even more when he's back there. But we got to put our best 11 out there in the best positions to win. I think they got a plan to do it, but getting Iffy back, getting Rakestraw back will definitely help that secondary after we lost Dorsey and, of course, Carlton Davis there. So that's promising. Anzalone should also be back soon, probably most likely around playoff time. Hopefully it'll be week 2 of the playoffs because we'll have a first-round bye. If not, expecting to play week 1. I think Kamitsky also will be back around playoff time, maybe mid-playoffs. But I don't know if you saw this video. But there is an interview going around of Aiden Hutchinson. And I know we talk about Hutch all the time. We talk about, he could be back for the Super Bowl. He could be back. Well, the man said it out of his own mouth very recently. He said, I'm in the locker room. I'm telling the guys, just get there. And I promise you, I'll be back. He's saying, just get to the Super Bowl. And he said, I promise you, I'll be back. And then he said his mom looked at him and was like, oh, Aiden, but what happens if you can't come back and they make it to the Super Bowl? He's like, there's no other way. He goes, I just don't see it any other way. That's the goal, and that's what it's going to be. So Hutch is determined. It is going to be tough to get there now with the way that our defense is, but I think that we still have a ton of hope to hold on to now. I want to get your opinion in the comments here because I ran a poll on X or on the Twitter, and you can follow Touchdown Detroit Lions over there if you want, or you can follow me personally, but it's probably easier to look up Touchdown Detroit Lions. But yeah, I ran a poll over there after the game, and I had said, let me get to my page just to get the exact numbers. I didn't have a ton of votes. I had about 16 votes, but still, 16 Lions fans chiming in. I said, how we feeling, Lions fans? Are we good? A little worried? Or is it now, maybe next year, after all the injuries and the way that we looked after Sunday? So I want to know from you guys, are we good to go? Are you a little worried moving forward? Or is this a maybe next year now scenario that we're looking at? Me personally, I think that there is still definitely a path to the Super Bowl. We have 3 very winnable games in front of us. I don't care how depleted the defense is. We can 100% beat the Bears. We can 100% beat the Niners the way that they are this year. We could bet we should have beat them last year. That should have been the shoulda, coulda, woulda, but we can definitely beat the Niners with the team that we have right now. Minnesota's going to be a very tough game. That might come down to being the NFC North Championship game. We will see. But if we can win these next 3 games, or if we can win 2 of them, Minnesota picks up a loss, Philly picks up a loss, which, is we're trying to rely on other teams, which I don't want to rely. So just win the next 3, we get the first round bye, which only means you have 2 games to get to the Super Bowl. We get there, we give guys, a bye week to rest. We get a little bit more healthy. Anzalone's back. The commish is back. Hopefully we can get Carlton Davis. I think that could be around a time where he could come back by then. Maybe he's wired up. I saw the Lions post on earlier, Through the Wire, by Kanye West, which was a great song caption there because if you've heard the song, Kanye raps with a broken jaw, and maybe Carlton Davis can come back and play. I mean, that'd be so tough to ask. You're going to rattle your head with a broken jaw. Probably not a good idea, but maybe he can be back by then. But I'm saying we'll have more people back. Maybe Barnes wasn't ruling out a comeback, but it isn't. It's very slim, a very slim chance. He's not ruling it out. But if we just get the number 1 seed in the playoffs, we will have some bodies back who mean a lot to that defense. Now, the offense is starting to get banged up a little bit too. Montgomery, like I said, went out. That is a massive blow. Sonic and Knuckles are broken up. It's sad. I don't know if you saw their Instagram posts. Montgomery posted Sonic holding an injured Knuckles, and Sonic had tears in his eyes. And then Jahmyr Gibbs had him and Monty shaking up in the end zone or something like that. And then he put the broken heart emoji above it. You know that they're both feeling down and out about this. One of the best running back duos ever. And we couldn't even see them finish the season together. It's terrible for that fact. I hate it for all these guys who've gotten injured, especially key guys who have helped us get to this point. But Dan Campbell said it best that, these guys helped us get to here. We'd be doing them injustice if we didn't finish this thing out. We have to finish this thing out for them. And I love that. They don't want anybody to feel sorry for them. They're going to embrace this. They know that they got everybody saying that the sky's falling here in Detroit now and that we're done. But I think they love this. They love this. They get a chip on their shoulder. They go out there, and they're going to play hard no matter what. Amik Robertson said it on X. You're literally going to have to kill us to stop us. And that's what it's looking like right now. So I trust that Dan's going to have the guys fired up. If you heard his radio talk, his interview on the radio this morning, he was dropping some F-bombs all over the place. He was saying, I don't care if we have to win by 1 the rest of the way. That's what we're going to do. I don't care if we get 50 yards on offense and win by 1. I'm going to be smiling afterwards. I don't care if we give up 700 yards on defense and we win by 1. I'm still going to be smiling afterwards. He goes, we're going to do whatever it takes to win by 1 or whatever it is, but they're going to do whatever it takes to get these wins. And he's like, we will do it. And I trust Dan Campbell. The man speaks truth into existence more than not. And if there's anybody who's going to get this team fired up to still play hard under them with all their injuries and with, third string, fourth string guys, if there's any coach that can get them to play to a higher caliber level and get the most out of them, it's Dan Campbell, it's Ben Johnson, it's AG, it's our coaching staff, it's Kelvin Shepard, it's all of them. These guys have been through it. They've battled through it. They know what it takes. They know how to motivate players. They know how to coach up players. And as you can see, they've done a great job. Now, he also pointed this out too. This is a great point. Sometimes you need to be humbled. And, we won 11 games in a row. And he also said, we're never going to be able to do that again this season. They're not, because they're not going to be able to play 11 more games. They accomplished a very, very rare feat in the NFL to win 11 games in a row. And they did it by losing a ton of guys. We all thought that they were done right when we lost Hutch, when we lost Barnes, but they continued to find a way to win. And that's why I think they'll still find a way to win. He said they need to be punched in their mouth from time to time to remember who they are. He goes, sometimes you're getting fed a filet and you get used to that filet and life's good. But sometimes you need to be reminded when you were eating that moldy bread and it was just fine. It got you by. You need to remember where you came from. And he goes, that's what we got going on for us right now. We remember where we come from and we're fired up. And yeah, they're going to be out to prove something because everybody right now is counting them out. And I think that it's crazy to count on a team that's 12-2. Yes, when you look at it, when you look at the injuries on the defensive side, a lot of people are like, man, how many more can they sustain? Are they already done? It's tough to have this many injuries and be able to be successful as we have to this point. And a lot of people are expecting, everything to finally crumble. But I don't know. This team is very strong eternally. They have a big bond. They do have talent over there still on defense. Don't think that we're completely depleted. I mean, we have 2 all-pro safeties. Terrion Arnold's starting to come on, even though he did get torched 4 times in this past game. But Josh Allen was having an amazing day. And, I mean, what can you really ask of these corners when you're not getting much of a pass rush either, or Josh Allen's taking off when you do get a stop? But, Jack Campbell still playing very high-caliber linebacking. He's playing at a very high caliber at the linebacking position. I think that our linebackers who are there, in Turner, Nowosky was out this last week, but those guys have filled in nice. And then, of course, we can't forget Reeder and Zadarius Smith. We still have core guys who guys can play around, and these other guys are starting to step it up a little bit too. We're not completely done, but our offense is going to have to be the anchor from here on out. Like, don't be surprised if every game is a shootout from here, but I think our defense is still good enough to get us a few key stops for us to win the game. But Ben Johnson knows, Dan Campbell knows, probably the whole entire team, Jared Goff, all them know that it's on them now, and we're going to have to put up huge numbers each game to get some W's. I'm going to say it here. Not many teams are going to lose putting up 42 points. There's very few teams that are going to beat you when you do that, and the Buffalo Bills are one of them. We put up 42 on the Bears. I don't see the Bears scoring 48 next week, no matter what our defense looks like. And if we're putting up 42, we come away with a win. I see the same thing with the 49ers. And, Minnesota, we could have a shootout with. They could put up 48. They have on offense to do that, but I still don't see it happening. We're going to have to ride the offense, and I don't know if you heard Dan Orlovsky say it. I'm kind of with him on this, but I think it was a little bit of a crazy take, but not entirely insane. He thinks that Detroit won't punt more than 5 times the rest of the season because we're going to need to stay on that field. He thinks that if it's 4th and 5 or less, we're going for it no matter what part of the field we're on, because that's what we're going to have to do to win the games. I don't think it's that drastic, but I would not be shocked if those are the measures that we take. And yes, start to see us going for it more on 4th down for sure. But, now people are starting to see the method to the madness. Before, when we beat the Green Bay Packers on that 4th and inches where we went for it instead of kicking the field goal, they were all like, he's crazy. What is he doing this for? He should have just kicked the field goal, take the safe route. Well, we can't do that with our defenses banged up as they are. When it's the end of the game, you can tell they're tired. We got to put away teams on offense, and we're going to see a lot more of that going forward. Now the analysts are starting to agree with his method because now they see, I don't know how they didn't see this before, but that the defense is so hurt that the offense is going to have to be the one to put the nail in the coffin. And I'm fine with that because we have the offense to do that. We have a historical offense this year. I mean, Jared Goff putting up crazy numbers. Everybody is having a great year on offense besides the ones that are getting hurt, of course. And I think this offense can carry us a long ways. And getting key guys back on defense will make a difference. But we got to win these next 3. We don't have to. We're already in the playoffs. But to give ourselves the best opportunity to get to a Super Bowl, to win a Super Bowl, we got to get that 1 seed is how I'm feeling. And I still feel confident that we can definitely win these next 3. Toughest of them all is going to be against Minnesota, obviously. They looked good last night, but they were playing the Bears. Bears look like they quit. They're going to play us tough. It's in Chicago. Of course they're going to play us tough. They always do. It's not going to be a rollover, an easy win. But Minnesota, all the games are going to be tough. They're all going to be tough. Don't get me wrong. But they're all very winnable for this Lions team still. And if we can get that number 1 seed, I'm still feeling good, especially with some of our key guys on defense coming back. All right, I'm going to head over to the comments, see what's up. Lori King says, I do not recall seeing Montgomery injury. Also David. Dorsey was hard to see. McNeil too. Yeah, I don't remember when Montgomery got hurt. Like, I didn't see the exact play. I just remember he went over the sideline. He went to the blue tent. He did try to re-enter the game, but then ultimately sat out and let Gibbs take over, which is going to bring me into my next point after I get through the other comments real quick. I just got to get to these. But Big Walt says, what up, though? Yes, we bouncing back from this. We still Super Bowl bound. I love it. You know, the outside world, and I'm with you, Big Walt. The outside world is saying, you know, the sky's falling in Detroit. And I'm saying that's just a cliche thing that everybody's saying. But it's not. A lot of our fans still believe, and the most important thing is those boys in the locker room still believe 100%, and they want to come out and prove everybody wrong. And when they want to prove everybody wrong is when they play some top-tier football, no matter who's out there on the field. You're going to see these guys come out there with a chip on their shoulder moving forward. And I agree with you, Big Walt. We're going to bounce back, and I still have all faith in this team to make a Super Bowl run, 100%. I'm with you. We got to keep that faith, guys. You got to stay positive. Yes, it's going to be tough. Nobody said it'd be easy. And yeah, maybe if we have everybody healthy, it's a for sure Super Bowl for us this year, the way that we were playing before and how we were still playing with guys hurt. Because, I mean, imagine this team if we were almost completely healthy and we were playing at the, you know, the caliber we're playing right now. It'd be insane, but shoulda, coulda, woulda, can't be that way. Got to play with the roster you have right now. And I trust this coaching staff. I trust this team to bounce back and get this thing moving in the right direction, the way that we already were. We're 12-2, and people are like, oh, Lions are done. Come on, man. That's why we're going to come out and show y'all. Lori King, Dan Campbell fired me up with his press conference and radio appearance so much. This is a good coach that believes in all of the team, even second and third string. Gibbs is doing a presser tour today, too. Yeah, Dan Campbell, I mean, this is another cliche thing to say, but I would run through a wall for that guy. When I heard that too, that made me believe again. Like, I wasn't doubting, but I was sitting there like, man, it's going to be tough. Like, I was just a little bit hurt the last few days because we haven't lost in a while. You know, it's been 11, 12 games since we lost, so I wasn't used to it. Yeah, we were eating that filet just like he said. So it was a little bit of a kick in the mouth. We were used to victory Mondays and Tuesdays here for a long time, and to not celebrate it this week, it was tough, especially losing at home. But, you know, after I heard his speech, I was like, yeah, we're still here. We're not going anywhere. We're coming right back, baby. This guy is a leader, and he's a leader of warriors that he built. And these warriors are going to go out there, and they're going to go to war for their general, and we're going to be just fine. I'm with you. It fired me up. Lori King, I am tired of hearing about Josh Allen, especially with Tony Romo on Sunday. He was kissing Allen's butt. Yeah, it was so annoying to hear that. And then the even more annoying thing was going to Twitter and looking, like after a few plays or something, I would go at halftime and look and seeing the beat writers for Detroit, like I'm not going to call them out by their names, but they're all like, Josh Allen, wow. Man, Josh Allen is amazing. Why don't you go be a Bills fan as much as you guys were tweeting about Josh Allen that game? Like, the beat writers, I know they want to seem like they're neutral and all this stuff, but come on, man. You're supposed to be for the Lions. No, none of us want to see you praising and, drooling over Josh Allen. So get that crap out of here moving forward. I don't care how good of a game he has. It's Lions over here. That's what we want to follow. We don't care about how good Josh Allen is. Yes, he did well, but when our own beat writers are drooling over him, that's embarrassing, guys. Pick your jaw off the ground and start talking about our own team. Embarrassing. Okay. All right, here we go. Phil, do not care about seeding. Do not care if we win another game. We are in the playoffs already. We have 4 weeks to playoffs. Rest everyone. Let the backups and replacements play and be ready. Let Hooker and the boys get some reps. I hope I never have to watch another game on CBS. Yeah, okay. That was all from Phil. And you know what? I think that we go out there, we play hard this week. I think we beat the Bears. I think we got to go for the number 1 seed. I'm with you. We're already in the tournament. I don't want anybody else to get hurt. We're already in the playoffs, but that's just not the way they're going to do it. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, Phil. Dan Campbell's not going to be that way. He's not going to want to slow down. They are going to want to keep the momentum, and these guys want to play. That's just the style of football that they preach. That's who they are. That's their identity. Yes, it could be smart to rest some guys because we're already in there, but I just don't see it happening. I think that they want the number 1 seed. I think they know what's on the line. They want that home field advantage. But I am with you. I think that it doesn't matter where we're seated. The team's built to win on the road, and if you look at it, we haven't lost the game on the road this year. The only 2 games that we lost were at home. So maybe we don't want a home seeding, but I think it's going to be a different monster in the playoffs with having, that home field advantage. Detroit shows up in a crazy way for the playoffs. If you remember the Rams game, the Bucs game last year, that was an insane environment. And I think it does help this team, even though our 2 losses were at home. And, just to get back to the point, I do agree with you to an extent. I just don't think Dan Campbell will do it. Now, if we lose to the Bears somehow, then maybe we start doing that. I don't know. But this team is going to want to come out, and they're going to want to get that number 1 seed. That's just the way that I see Dan Campbell coaching this moving forward. I am also with you, though. I hope I never have to watch another game on CBS. Tony Romo is such a homer. And by the way, I don't know if you saw it, man. That guy be caking on the makeup. Tony. Settle down on the foundation, brother. For whatever it is. Dude, you looked a whole different color, and it was thick. It was like a mat on your face, bro. Like, my God. I don't know what's going on underneath. You got some blemishes or something, dude, but it didn't look good. You looked like one of those women who wears way, way, way too much makeup. And you're like, my goodness. I'm sorry. Not trying to do anything like that. But Tony wore way too much makeup on TV. I just got oh, man. Phil said, I think his face cracked. Yeah, dude, it's funny. Lions play better on the road into white uniforms. Yes, I mean, it is what it is. And they did play better on the road. I think, like I said, they like to play being the underdog. They like to have everybody count them out. They want that chip on their shoulder. They want you to doubt us. And the best thing is that everybody's doubting us right now. So expect them to come out and fire on all cylinders moving forward. Lori King said, I had to deal with him when I lived in Dallas area for 10 years, then Dak. I am done with Dallas players. A lot of people are. We don't like them. Now so I was going to get back to your other comment, but this sets up perfectly. Micah Parsons is set to either be owed a big contract from the Cowboys or he's going to be moving on. His dad, in an interview, in a podcast or something, said he would love for Micah Parsons to go to a few different teams, with one of them being Detroit. He said, imagine Parsons and Hutch on the same team. My goodness. Now, I'm all for that, but I don't know if you guys remember Micah Parsons talking crap about Detroit. I think he was a little butthurt that we didn't take him. But you know what? If he wants to come over and play for the Lions now, he can make his apologies to the fans and everything that he's been saying over these years by getting out there and getting some sacks. But that's next year. We'll talk next year. Moving on. I'm going to get back to Lori King's initial comment about Gibbs taking the media tour today and doing all those pressers. With Monty going down, it's Jahmyr Gibbs time. And a lot of people have been asking for this, not necessarily Lions fans, because we all love Monty, and we are very sad that Monty's out. That duo was amazing to watch together, and I love that they could split up the time. A few weeks ago, I was asking for a few more touches from Gibbs, and this is not what I was asking for by any means. I did not want this to happen. But there is some silver lining to all this. Gibbs has been getting better and better and better and better. And he is fully capable of taking on a full workload. And getting him 20-plus touches a game or close to that, he's going to have more opportunities to break a big one. And I think we're going to see Jahmyr Gibbs flourish even without his buddy. But Gibbs is tough. He's got the elusiveness, and he's got speed out of this world. But he can definitely run between the tackles. And it's time for him. It's time for him to step up and be a 3-down back. Even though we got Craig, even though we got Sione Vaki, I think the way that we go with this is let Gibbs be the man that he can be. And I think we're going to see this man shine. I think we're going to see him shine moving forward. Yes, Montgomery was the man. Best duo to me in NFL history if they complete this season and we see the numbers and all that. But they're going to continue to have years to come together. We signed Monty for more years, but still Gibbs getting the workload. Moving forward, we'll see how it turns out, but I think it's going to be good. I think Gibbs is going to he's going to break out in a huge way. In a huge way. All right. Phil said, should we look at OBJ? Well, I don't know, because I think our receiving core is fine there. Now, I know that we are, that's another, Khalif Raymond could come back in a little bit here. But, Tim Patrick coming on in a huge way. Another touchdown this week, diving for it, showing that grit. I love Tim Patrick. I love what he's turned into, and I can't believe the Broncos let him walk. Yeah, he's had 2 seasons where he's been hurt, but before that, he was good, and now he's turning back into the player that he can be, and I think this was a steal. So I love what Tim Patrick's doing. J-Mo has been doing great all year, despite the suspension. I think J-Mo's growing in to be a really good receiver. Amon-Ra is going to be Amon-Ra. The guy's a beast. He's going to go out there and have games for you like he did this last game, even though this was his career high. Hopefully minus the fumbles and drops. But like Laurie King pointed out earlier, he had food poisoning, which I was unaware of. And then, of course, Sam Laporta. I think that they're saving a lot what they're going to do with Laporta. Laporta did have 111 receiving yards this last game, but I think we have not even seen the tip of the iceberg with what we're going to do with Laporta in the playoffs. So that's just what I think. I think that we're good on the receiving side of things. Now, knock on wood, if we lose a receiver, yes, go grab him. But another person that I think that could happen, even though I don't see it happening, but I want to ask you guys, should we go out and get Clyde Edwards-Helaire, running back that the Chiefs just dropped? He was a first-round pick for him a few years ago. Show some potential, but with the loss of Montgomery, do we go out and get Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Or do we trust in Craig Reynolds, who's shown that, he knows our offense. He's going out. He's willing to go out there and block for you all day, every day. It could be Craig time. He runs hard, and behind that first string offensive line, you never know, but let's not lie to ourselves. Craig Reynolds is no Montgomery. I hope that he can be. I'm not saying Clyde Edwards-Helaire is either. But do we go out there and make that move? Or do we trust in Craig and Sione Vaki? And then whoever else we got on the practice squad, but me personally, I don't think we make that move. I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more of Sione. He's elusive. He's got some speed. He really hasn't played that much running back in his college career and stuff. He was mainly a safety, but when he did, the guy shows some glimpses of being able to make some big time plays. He can be a game changer. He can open up this game for people. If he can start to see the field. And if it can start to slow down for him now. Once again, I don't know how he'll end up, but not upset if he gets a few extra carries moving forward. All right. Here we go. Oh, he said, hold on to the ball, Gibby. Yeah, he had this year 1 fumble, and last year he had a key fumble. There was a few other plays. I think they were blown dead, though, and the ball came up. But I don't think he really has a fumbling issue. Yeah, he's not weak-handed like that. He's rarely fumbled in his career so far, and everybody's going to fumble. Monty fumbles. Goff fumbles a ton. Amon-Ra St. Brown fumbled this last game. So Gibbs is not fumble-prone. I'm just saying he's had so many carries over his NFL career and has only fumbled very few times. Yes, they've come up in big time situations, but don't put that out there. Gibby's not a fumble-prone player. He can hold on to the ball for sure. All right. What about Jerry Jacobs? We can go and get, we got to bring in some people. There's Patrick Peterson right here. So Super Internet Chalmers says, Patrick Peterson time. They're going to need to bring in some people. As many bodies as possible at this point. Like I stated earlier, if he's coming back, they just started his 21-day window to return, and he could be back as soon as this week if they feel comfortable with him. They also said, and Rakestraw, rookie, will be back soon. Not this week, but he will be back soon. So we're going to get some help back on the defensive side, particularly the D-back room. But I would not be upset with Patrick Peterson. Bring JJ back, too. Bring Jerry Jacobs back. I don't care. He knows the team. He knows the culture. He knows everything. Wouldn't be upset with it. The crowd did, or not the crowd. The fans kind of were upset with him last year. He was getting burnt, but he knows the system, man. And for a little bit there, he had some really big games. He was a good corner for us for a little bit. It just kind of fell off there towards the end of his time with us. So I wouldn't be mad about it at all. Either of those moves. We just need bodies. We need as many as possible. We cannot afford any more injuries, but if they happen, we need some guys to come in and start learning the system right now and be ready to go. So I'm with either one of those. I'm with either one of them, and we have more than enough cap space to make it happen. Superintendent Chalmers, no, Clyde is a receiving back who's only 207. When Craig started twice in 2021, Dew had a game of 83 and 112. Okay, yeah, way to point that out. Craig can hold it down, and then he said 112 against 10-3 Cardinals. Way to point that out. I was kind of I wasn't giving Craig the benefit of the doubt. I was saying he's no Montgomery, but he has had good games, just like you pointed out. I did say I don't think that we go out and get Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I was just asking you guys how you felt about it, but I'm comfortable with Craig and Sione Vaki as the backups behind Gibbs, and because I think Gibbs is going to get a bigger workload, but I'm very comfortable with Craig Reynolds and Sione Vaki back there. Laurie King, I have to give props to Skipper with his first career touchdown. He was so happy like a little kid on Christmas morning getting the toy that they dreamt about. Yes, shout out Skipper. And I can't believe that we didn't come away with the win for you, Skip. We got you a touchdown, and we couldn't win it for you. That would have been amazing. But, shout out Skipper the last few weeks. The week before, one of the top PFF-rated left tackles, and to ask a backup left tackle to come in, against a top division opponent and do what he did was amazing. Dan Skipper has had some great weeks since he's been here. And another shout out to him. Not only did he catch a touchdown on Sunday, but he has a newborn that was born on Sunday as well. So congratulations to the Skipper family on welcoming in new life to this world, and also on the touchdown, of course. But Dan Skipper, even though the Lions lost, had a huge day on Sunday. So shout out Dan Skip. Love that you're on this team, man. Superintendent Chalmers, I agree. He's no Demo, but I think he's a quality back. I also think so, too. There's a reason why they re-signed him. There's a reason why they kept him around. And, he can definitely block for Goff in the pass game. We saw what he did for Amon-Ra against Tampa Bay. He's not scared to go out there and lay the lick. I mean, the guy is a football player. He's going to give it his all. And I'm happy with him. I completely agree with you 100%. Craig will be able to hold it down in the backfield in the absence of Monty. Even though he's not up to his caliber, he'll be good. He'll be good to go, and I'm glad that he's on our team. So we don't have to go out and sign other people. I'm completely with you. Craig and Sione Vaki back there behind Jahmyr Gibbs is more than enough. We don't need to go out and get anybody else, in my opinion. Phil, I fear for Mosley. Would love to see him do well. Any report how he's looking in practice? Well, from what I heard, he's been progressing, and there was even a real chance that he was going to play last week. I think it was a last-minute healthy scratch, so I hope that he's back this week, especially with not Emmanuel Mosley, that's who we're talking about, especially with Carlton Davis out. I think they've just been, taking it easy with him with his injury past, and he did, he had a little, resurgence of an injury that happened, and they're just playing it safe right now. They didn't want to rush it back because they didn't feel like they needed to, especially with Carlton Davis, who they thought would be able to play the whole game. Him and Terrion being out there, Amik, like our secondary looked pretty healthy, besides, of course, not having him out there. So I didn't think they expected that they would need to use him, and now that we do need him a little bit more, I think that he'll be back this week. It was very close to him playing this last week. He was a healthy scratch, but I do remember them saying he was progressing. We'll know more, obviously, tomorrow when they come out with the practice report, the injury report. So just hang tight for that. I don't have all the news on that, but if I had to guess, I would guess that he'll be back this week since he was already progressing in a positive direction to almost play last week. It was just a last-minute kind of healthy scratch there. But expect Mosley back very soon, hopefully this week. Skip Skid may have weighed 15 pounds and 30 inches at birth. Poor wife. Yeah. Skipper's a big boy, man, and he's putting out big offspring. The guy is a beast. Like I said, man, the Skipper, you just got to be happy for him. He's such a good dude, too. So even though we came away with the loss, some guys had some huge days. Goff, Amon-Ra, St. Brown. Skipper, probably the biggest of them all with a touchdown and a newborn. I mean, that's just life-changing. Life-changing. Well, greetings from Traverse City. Yes, okay. Hey, say where you're at. Say where you're at in the comments. We love to hear where everybody is from. And if this is your first time here, please give it a like, subscribe. It helps out the algorithm, helps me out tremendously. If you like this, it lets other people see it. If you follow anybody, anytime that you're watching a show and you like what you're seeing, or maybe you don't like it a lot, but, it's like, okay, I could get down with this. Just give it a like. Help out the show a little bit. Goes a long way. Doesn't give me any money, but it has a lot more people with eyes on the show and chances to come in and talk some Lions with us. This is a fan-driven account, and we all just like to go back and forth with this fun banter about the Lions, who we love so much. Lori King says, Phil, I'm in Boyne City. I hope that I'm pronouncing these right. Yes, we did sign Pittman. I said that earlier in the podcast. I don't know if you missed me saying that, but I will say it again. These moves that the Lions made today, for anybody who's just joining, I said this earlier, but the Lions had placed Carlton Davis, Khalil Dorsey, and Aleem McNeil on injured reserve. We signed Anthony Pittman to the active roster from the Jags practice squad, from the Jags practice squad. We released D-end Isaiah Thomas from the practice squad, and we signed cornerback Stanley Thomas Oliver to the practice squad. So, yes, we know about the IR guys, but signed Anthony Pittman, released Isaiah Thomas, and signed Stanley Thomas Oliver to the practice squad. Anthony Pittman to the active roster. And he already knows the system, so I think that was a good move. Bringing back somebody who knows AG, who knows Dan Campbell, who knows how this defense is run, because we're going to need it. We're going to need that help there. So I like that. But all right, we are coming up on the hour, so let's get in. Let's get into this game. Hatter's House just in time. You made it. I think we can lock up the number 1 seed, but it will look a lot harder. Yes, we were kind of talking about that earlier. These 3 games are very, very winnable. I think Minnesota might drop one to the Seahawks and to the Packers, maybe both of them. So that will kind of help us out, but we'll see. They somehow keep finding a way to win. And then I'm hoping Washington can steal a win against Philly, of course. But, it's not going to be easy. I do see us having a very real chance, the best chance to lock up that number 1 seed, if you ask me. People are counting us out, but I would not count us out. Yeah, so Philly has the Eagles and the I just said Philly has the Eagles. They are the Philadelphia Eagles. But they have the Commanders this week. They have Dallas, and then they have the Giants. I mean, all divisional games, and they play tough in the division. I hope that the Cowboys and Giants want to come out and be spoilers. I don't see it happening. So, Commanders, please come out. Commanders, please. Please come out and beat the Eagles this week. But no matter what, we control our own destiny, and that is the best thing about this all. We win our 3 games, we get the number 1 seed, we get home field advantage. So Lions control their own destiny. They love it that way. I love it that way. Just go out there and take care of business, and it all starts this week in Chicago against the Bears. Now, Lions, I have one request, okay? It's my birthday on Sunday. It's my birthday, December 22nd, the day that you are playing the Bears. Just win, baby. Just win. That's all I'm asking for. I don't need nothing from anybody else. I just want a Lions win on Sunday for my birthday. That would be the best birthday gift I could get. I don't care if you win by 1. I don't care if it's ugly. I just want to win. Lions. Win for my birthday on Sunday. And not just me. Win for yourselves. Win for the fans. Win for the people who've been diehards their whole life just like me, who were born into this, who their family, who their mom, their dads, everybody along the whole generation line has been a Lions fan. Give it up for the people who've been with you from the 50s. Do it for all of us lifers. Not just this game, the rest of the season, baby. But on Sunday, I'm just asking for a win for my birthday. And then the rest of the season, do it for the lifers and everything else. You know what I mean? We got to get this done. But this is the time where we put in. Yeah, I got a little crazy. Thank you. Mojo, baby, good to see you in here. Go Lions. Yes. Phil said, is that ice fountain growing? Talking about their their living location. Okay. That's cool. I love the chat back and forth between you guys. But Phil also says, I thought the Bear might beat the Vikings last night. I was hoping for it, but they crapped the bed. Can't rely on the Bears. Can't rely on anybody. That's why I don't want to even hope. You know, I am hoping that they do lose games, but I'm not relying on that at all. Just go out there and win. Take care of our own business, and you don't have to worry about anything else. You don't have to rely on anybody else. As long as we win these 3 games, we are the number 1 seed no matter what. No one can take that away from us if we win these 3 games. Here we go. John Peterson said, just win, run the ball, eat the clock. That'll be another strategy that we see moving forward. This team is going to try to just hold the ball as long as they can on offense and score as many times as possible. But, yeah. Long, sustained drives ended with touchdowns is a very good formula, and we've been doing that all year too. We've kind of been taking a little bit off the defense. That's why they've been as good as they have been over the games where we didn't have Hutch, Anzalone, and all them guys. I mean, credit to AG too. He's calling a great plan so far with the guys that he's got, but that is definitely a huge factor to why the Lions have been successful, and it's going to be the main reason moving forward why we can continue to win. Long, sustained drives finished off by touchdowns. Great point there. Lori King, happy birthday, Nick. Thank you. Hatter's House, Lions by 1 million. That's right. Brings me to my next point. This is when we predict the scores for the upcoming game. Bears are hosting the Lions in Chicago. It's probably going to be cold. I haven't looked up the weather. It's outside. It's right on Lake Michigan. You know, it's the wind's going to be gusting. But this team is gritty. We're built to play on the road. We're probably going to hear all the analysts saying this week, Lions are, you know, they're in trouble. Their defense is down. They haven't played many games outside. It's the cold. They're not used to this. Well, this is going to be another week where we go out there and we prove the doubters wrong. Once again, I think we bounce back in a massive way. I'm saying 52-21. 52-21, baby. It's going to be a big game on offense. Now, that is a crazy prediction, but I'm saying I'm sticking with it. That was just off the top of my head. I didn't think about that at all. I love the Lions. Yes, I'm very biased, but I'm going with it. I think we're going to show the league the way that we have to win, how we can win. I think that it's close. The first half, once again, giving up 21 points to the Bears because our defense is a little depleted, but we're going to put up 52. 52-21, Lions win. That's my prediction. It's a crazy one, a very bold one. One of my most bold of the year, if you ask me. But it was right off the top of the head. I was going to go back on it, but I'm keeping it. 52-21, Lions win. Hatter's House, I'm going to read it one more time. He says, Lions by 1 million, and I'm with it. I look for that comment every single week. Phil says, happy 70th birthday, dude. Oh, my goodness. How old are you? How old do you think? 70th birthday. Jesus. I'm not even in my 40s yet, man. I'm not even in my 40s. I don't think I look 70. I don't even think I look my age, but that was I'll take that as a joke, okay? I'll take that as a joke, Phil. Come on now. I thought we're on the same team, brother. No, it's all in good fun. I don't take things in a way like that. I appreciate the laugh. Hatter's House, they lost versus Buffalo because I missed the show last week. Hey, you know what? You got to come back. You made it just in time. Maybe I got to stay a little bit longer because the show's been a little bit shorter. So Hatter's House from now on, I'm going to be here until you get here, whether it take hours or not. Okay, everybody? That's moving forward. We got to wait for Hatter's House, okay? I'm joking. As long as I see your comments saying Lions by a million, even after the fact, I think that counts for something too. All right, Phil. Phil says, doesn't matter. Lions going to be very angry. Yep. Phil says 48-9. Love that. Phil says, been a stressful week. It has been, man. It's been stressful. Do I really look 70 though? My goodness. But it has been stressful. Yes, we lost a lot of players. I'm tired. I work overnight. I will give you that. I worked overnight last night. I'm tired. A little tired, but I'm always here to talk Lions football with you guys. But that's going to do it. That's going to do it for today's show. I will be back here next Tuesday. Same time, 5 p.m. Detroit time, 4 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. on the West Coast. No, Lori King, you rock. You rock. And I appreciate that. I appreciate all you loyals who keep coming back to watch the show too. It really means a lot. Like I said, if you're liking what this is, I'm not the only host over here. We have Derek, who has some great live shows as well. He usually goes twice on this channel, and then he's all week on his other channel, Lions Syndicate. But that is my boss. That's my partner, and he has me over here. But come back, say what's up, like and subscribe, do all that good stuff. It helps out the channel. But I'll shout you out. We'll talk every single week. I love talking back and forth with you. Come back. Phil, you're the man. Good show. Thank you. I'm looking forward to having you back. Looking forward to having everybody back. Tell your friends, tell everybody. But yes, it's been the hour. We got the Bears this week. Got to get the W 1 week at a time on our way to the #1 seed. Until next week, y'all, go Lions and have a great day.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions!